Hi, LMS. It's Mrs. Bennett. I hope you're all doing well. And I'm going to talk to you about a few books that we have here on the shelves. They're all written by authors whose last name starts with H, because the other day I was spending some time organizing that area. And the first one is Take Me to the River by Will Hobbs. If you're a fan of things like Hatchet or Touching Spirit Bear, this is a great, great read. It starts out with 14-year-old Dylan Sands has come a long way from North Carolina to Big Bend National Park on the Texas-Mexico border to paddle the fabled Rio Grande. His partner in adventure is a local river rat, his cousin Rio. As the two are packing their boats for 10 days in the canyons, 6 Black Hawk helicopters appear overhead and race across the river into Mexico. The Army won't tell the boys what's happening, but they're given a weather advisory. A hurricane is approaching the Gulf of Mexico. And that's where I'll leave it. So that's Take Me to the River by Will Hobbs. Another one is, it's actually a 2-book series. It's Green Angel. And left on her own when her family is lost in a terrible disaster, 15-year-old Green is haunted by loss and by the past. Struggling to survive, Green retreats into the ruined realm of her garden, but in destroying her feelings, she also begins to destroy herself, erasing the girl she'd once been as she inks ravens and bats into her skin. It is only through a series of mysterious encounters with a ghostly white dog and a mute boy that Green relearns the lessons of love and begins to heal as she tells her own story. So that's Green Angel by Alice Hoffman. And then this is When Zachary Beaver Came to Town. And this is by Kimberly Willis Holt. Fatty, 2x4, can't get through the kitchen door. Toby Wilson is having the toughest summer of his life. It's the summer his mother leaves for good, the summer his best friend's brother is serving in Vietnam, and the summer Zachary Beaver, this baddest boy in the world, arrives in Toby's sleepy Texas town. When it's a summer filled with heartache, it's also a summer of new friendships gained and old friendships renewed. It's Zachary Beaver who turns the town of Antler upside down and leaves everybody, especially Toby, changed forever. So that's When Zachary Beaver Came to Town. And then this one here is the 1920s. It's by Dorothy and Tom Hubley. And what's nice about this is that we actually own from the 1920s to the 1990s. So it's a book written about each decade. And if you're a history lover like I am at all, what it does is it embeds actual photographs and primary documents. So this is a picture of the Chicago train station, as well as different images of different people. But it's the series called Century Kids, and it's a 10-volume series that follows a number of families whose lives intertwine. Each volume is set against the backdrop of a different decade, and the events and artifacts of that decade play a role in each book. So this is the 1920s. It's labeled Luck. It's again by Dorothy and Tom Hubler. And then the last two that I picked up are by Dorothy and Thomas Hubler again. And this one is A Samurai Never Fears Death. And this one is 7 Paths to Death. And they tag it as a samurai mystery. And I'll read the insert of one. When a man with a tattoo covering his face is found floating face down in the water during a rice ceremony, Siki and Judge Uka know it's a bad omen. But what they don't know is how bad or how deeply dangerous the mystery behind it is. And that one's 7 Paths to Death. And then this one, A Samurai Never Fears Death, is 16-year-old Siki is a bit uneasy about returning to the city where he grew up. After all, he hasn't been back since the famous Judge Uka adopted him and he became a samurai. Yet, when he arrives on the familiar territory of his childhood, he realizes that more awaits a typical family reunion. So those are just some books written by authors that start with H. I thought it was a good way to, as I was in there, I just eyed a couple of covers that caught my eye. Hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're reading lots. Have a great day.